Happy morning, dear students. Today's topic is neonatal jaundice. What is neonatal jaundice? Here, the jaundice it is characterized by yellowish discoloration of skin and mucous membrane. It is diagnosed by total bilirubin levels, that is more than 7 to 15 milligrams per dl. It is there. So that is called as hyperbilirubinemia or neonatal jaundice. Okay, first we will discuss about introduction. The neonatal jaundice is known as the visible clinical manifestations of drying skin and sclera yellow during in the neonatal period, resulting from deposition of bilirubin in the neonatal bodies in newborns. Jaundice is detected by blanching the skin with digital pressure so that it reveals underlying skin and subcutaneous tissue. Jaundice newborns have an apparent icterus, sclera, and yellowing of the face extending down onto the chest. Okay, this is about introduction of neonatal jaundice. First, we will discuss about physiology of bilirubin. How the bilirubin process will be there, the physiology, what are the functions will be going on during in the bilirubin, okay, or neonatal jaundice. First, here the bilirubin is non-polar water insoluble compound requiring conjugation with gluconic acid to form a water soluble product that can be excreted. It circulates to the liver reversibly bound to a albumin. Okay, this is about bilirubin. It is a non-polar water insoluble compound. Okay, it needs conjugation. Which needs means here the bilirubin needs the conjugation, that is gluconic acid, to soluble the bilirubin. Okay, so here the increased production in the neonates due to the large red cell volume which produce bilirubin as cells are breakdown and shorten RBC lifespan, so broken down faster. Here the normally the red blood cells lifespan is 120 days, but here the shorten of the RBC lifespan is there. Before 120 days itself, here the breakdown of the RBC red blood cells will be there because of increased production of the red cell volume. Okay, so which produce the bilirubin as cells are the breakdown. Okay, this is about RBC lifespan. Here the heme means hemoglobin. Here the heme is divided into hemoglobin is divided into heme and then globin. Here the heme is catabolized with the reticuloendothelial system by heme oxygenase to form biliverdin. Okay, here the heme is catabolized with the reticuloendothelial system by heme oxygenase to form biliverdin. Here the what is the function of biliverdin? Here the biliverdin is metabolized to bilirubin in the presence of biliverdin radicats. Here the presence of biliverdin radicats, the biliverdin is metabolized. Here the ligandins responsible for transport of plasma membranes to endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, this is about ligadins. Okay, next one is bilirubin conjugated in the presence of UDPGT, means uridinic diphosphate glycosyl transferase. Okay, UDPG, because of this presence UDPG to mono and then digluconized, which are then excreted into the bile canaliculi. Okay, so here it is excreted. From where it is excreted means through the meconium and then through the urine. It is excreted. Okay, here the meconium contains 100 to 20 milligrams of conjugated bilirubin at birth. Okay, this is about bilirubin physiology. All of you clear? What is bilirubin? What is RBC? Okay, here the what how it may be compound with the requisition of unconjugated bilirubin into the conjugation. Okay, everything there here. Okay, here the next, the conjugated bilirubin is unstable and easily hydrolyzed to unconjugated bilirubin. This process occurs non-enzymatically in the duodenum and then jejunum, and also occurs in the presence of beta glucuronidase and enteric mucosal enzyme, which is found in high concentration in the newborn infants and in human milk. So here the causes also will is there, breastfeeding jaundice means newborn milk also is containing of the some enzymes which is not metabolized in the duodenum and then jejunum. Okay, this is about conjugated bilirubin levels. Okay, and coming to the bilirubin metabolism, how the bilirubin metabolism will be there. Before that, what we discussed, bilirubin functions and bilirubin physiology. Now we will discuss about the bilirubin metabolism. Here the bilirubin is degradation product of heme protein. Here the bilirubin, it is a degradation product of hemoprotein. Here the heme is an iron containing porphyrin found in the hemoglobin of red blood cells. Here the blood or hemoglobin, it contains the heme and then globin. Heme, it is an iron containing porphyrin found in a hemoglobin. Okay, look at this picture here, the formation of bilirubin. Look that image, that is RBC means red blood cells. Here the red blood cells are containing the heme and then globin, that is called as hemoglobin. Here the hemoglobin, here the hemoglobin is divided into globin and then heme. Here the globin is means it is a protein or amino acid. Heme means it is heme means it is red blood cells will be there. The lifespan of the red blood cells RBC is 120 days. It is containing with the myoglobin and cytochromes and bilirubin, and then everything is there, Phe2. Okay, here these are the this is about the formation of bilirubin from the hemoglobin or heme. Okay, and look at this picture here, the extravascular to intravascular hemolysis. Here the blood and then unconjugated bilirubin, that is it is mixed with the albumin, and then next it converted into the unconjugated bilirubin by the transported with the ligadin or jet protein. I said priorly, no, what is the function of ligadin means it is convert the unconjugated bilirubin into the conjugate. The conjugated gluconic acid converted into the conjugated bilirubin, and it may produce the urobilirubin, and then it is excreted. Okay, this is about the extravascular or intravascular hemolysis. Okay, uptake of bilirubin by liver. How the uptake of bilirubin by the liver means bilirubin is one only slightly soluble in the plasma, thus transported to the liver by binding non-covalently to the albumin. Here it may slightly soluble in the plasma itself, but the transported to the liver by binding non-covalently to the albumin. Next, the bilirubin dissociated from the carrier of albumin moleculi and enter to the hepatocytes and bind to the intracellular protein with ligadin and jet protein. I said no in the image. Okay, here you should note some points, that is drugs such as salicylates and then sulfonamides can displace bilirubin from albumin, but permits bilirubin to enter the central nervous system, thus cause the potential or neural damage in the infants. Okay, this is about the uptake of bilirubin by the liver, how it should be happening. Okay, did you got this point? Okay, and look at this image. Here the bilirubin, it is converted into the bilirubin with the albumin complex. Okay, and it is enter into the liver. In that the liver, the bilirubin is converted into the biliverdin, and then unconjugated bilirubin is converted into the conjugated. Okay, with the leuconic acid, and then here the leuconic acid, by that here the unconjugated bilirubin is converted into the conjugated. Okay, and next one is formation of bilirubin diglonic or that is converted into the conjugated bilirubin. Okay, the solubility of bilirubin is increased by the addition of two molecules of gluconic acid. This conjugation process is catalyzed by bilirubin, and that is UDP gluconyl transferase. That is here the gluconase transferase. Here the UDP, that is uridized diphosphate gluconic acid, is the gluconate donor will be there. So here what happened? A varying degree of deficiency of the enzyme resulting the Kreisel-Nizar 1 and 2 Gilbert syndrome is present, with the Kreisel-Nizar 1 being the most severe deficiency. Because of these deficiency, child is suffering with these enzyme deficiency, child is suffering with the unconjugation of bilirubin is there. So it won't be converted. Okay, this is about the formation of bilirubin, that is conjugated bilirubin. Okay, so here the excretion of bilirubin. Here how it is excreted. It is extravascular and intravascular hemolysis. Here the blood, unconjugated bilirubin, how it is unconjugated bilirubin is converted into the conjugate, and then how it is enter into the biliary system, and how it is transported into the portal vein, and it may enter into the kidneys and then liver. Okay, here this is the process will be there. Okay, look at this is the excretion of the bilirubin through the kidneys. The urine is the bilirubin is excreted through the urine and then feces. Okay, this is about the excretion of bilirubin. Okay, excretion of bilirubin, enterohepatic urobilirubinogen and then urobilirubin excretion in the urine. Some of the urobilirubinogen is reabsorbed from the gut and enters the portal blood. A portion participates in the enterohepatic urobilirubinogen cycle that taken up by the liver and then resecretes into the bile. The remainder is transported by the blood to the kidney, where it is converted to the yellow and excreted, giving urine its characteristic color. Okay, here the color will be changed, that is color change into the yellowish discoloration is there. This is about the excretion of the bilirubin. Okay, whatever is there in this image, this only is here. Okay, this is about excretion of bilirubin. All of you understood about what is bilirubin metabolism? Okay, in additional information we will learn some more information. In the newborns, the normal hemoglobin level is 15 to 18 milligrams per dl. So the physiological rate of red blood cells destruction is proportionately high. Because RBC destruction is very high, the lifespan of RBC is very shortened. So the destruction is very high. So here the excessive bruising from the birth trauma or abnormal blood collection such as in a cephalohematoma may further add it to the rate of RBC destruction and bilirubin formation will be there. So once what happen here, the RBC red blood cells destruction will be there because of some traumas or some bruising or some abnormal collection of the blood. What happen, RBC is destruction, so the bilirubin level is increased in the blood, so automatically child is having increased bilirubin levels, that is 15 to 18 milligrams per dl it is there. Did you got? This is the important point you should learn in the neonatal jaundice. The level of glucuronide transferase is low in the newborns, and any increase in the rate of bilirubin formation can overwhelm the capacity to conjugate. So, child is having increased bilirubin levels. Did you got this point? Okay, because of RBC reduction, the bilirubin levels is increased in the body because of some enzymes, that is the unconjugated bilirubin is not converted into the conjugate. So what happened, the levels of the bilirubin level is increased in the blood, so it is called as hyperbilirubinemia or neonatal jaundice. Okay, this is coming to the up to now you learn about the introduction of what is neonatal jaundice, what is bilirubin physiology, and then bilirubin metabolism. Okay, now we will discuss about definition of hyperbilirubinemia. The term hyperbilirubinemia refers to an excessive level of accumulated bilirubin in the blood and is characterized by jaundice or icterus, a yellowish discoloration of skin, sclera, and the nails. Okay, this is about the definition of hyperbilirubinemia or neonatal jaundice. Coming to the incidence rate is observed during the first week in approximately 60% of term infants is affected during their first week, and 80% of preterm infants they are having with this hyperbilirubinemia. Okay, this is about the incidence of jaundice, neonatal jaundice. And coming to the classification of neonatal jaundice, here the neonatal jaundice is classified into mainly two groups, that is two types. First one is physiological jaundice and second one is pathological jaundice. What is physiological jaundice? Here the physiological jaundice means appears between the, look at this picture here, this is physiological jaundice, look at this, this is physiological jaundice, this is pathological jaundice. When it starts means, here the physiological jaundice starts after 4 days of the life. Pathological jaundice is start that first or second day of life after birth. How the bilirubin levels is increased in the physiological jaundice is more than 20 milligrams per dl is there, less than 20 milligrams per dl is there in the physiological jaundice. In the pathological jaundice, more than 20 milligrams it is there. Kernicterus means here the increased in bilirubin level. Color is changed, the body color, yellowish discoloration of the skin, and then sclera is there. So here in the physiological jaundice, here the rarely we will see in the kernicterus. In pathological jaundice, kernicterus we will see, commonly we will see. Okay, resolves here the physiological jaundice, it may resolve early, but pathological jaundice some time will be taken to resolve this pathological jaundice. Lately it may be subside. Okay, this is about the classification of physiological jaundice and then pathological jaundice. Nothing is there in the types of classification of jaundice. Here the pathological jaundice means immediate after birth. Child is having this increase of the serum bilirubin level more than 20 milligrams is there. In pathological jaundice, After 4 days only it is starting, that is child is having less than 20 milligrams per dl, it is there. Okay, this is about the classification of physiological jaundice and then pathological jaundice. Okay, coming to what are the clinical features is there in the physiological jaundice. How we will identify physiological jaundice? First, the clinical jaundice appears 2 to 3 days. I said in the table 2 to 4 days it is there. Okay, and the total bilirubin levels is raised by less than 5 mg per dl, or 86 UMOL per liter per day. It is increasing, each day it is increasing. Peak bilirubin occurs 3 to 5 days of age. The peak bilirubin concentration in full term infants is less than 12 milligrams per dl, it is there. And then the peak bilirubin level concentration in the preterms is less than 15 milligrams. Okay, if it is full term, how much it is there in the physiological jaundice? Less than 12 milligrams is there. Okay, in preterm babies, how much it is there? Bilirubin levels less than 15 milligrams it is there. The clinical jaundice is resolved by 2 weeks in the terms, the infant by 3 to 4 weeks, the preterms it is there. Okay, this is about the physiological jaundice clinical features. Coming to the pathological jaundice clinical features, the clinical jaundice appear in 24 hours of the age. The total bilirubin rise by higher than 5 milligrams per dl is there. The peak concentration of total bilirubin is more than 12 milligrams per dl in the term infants and 15 milligrams per dl in the preterm infants. So same we will see. Okay, this is in the pathological jaundice. Okay, next coming to the etiology of neonatal jaundice. Again here also it is divided into physiological and then pathological. Here the physiological jaundice is increased in the bilirubin load on liver cells, defective hepatic uptake of high bilirubin from blood plasma, defective bilirubin conjugation is there, and defective bilirubin excretion also is there. So everything it is defective because of increased bilirubin load in the liver cells, because the RBC reduction is there, so unconjugated bilirubin is not conjugated, so the linoleic acid it should not be there, enzyme it is not properly is there, deficit is there, so automatically the liver function is impaired, so the bilirubin levels is increased. That is defective bilirubin conjugation and the defective bilirubin excretion also is there. That is physiological jaundice causes. And pathological jaundice causes is neonatal hepatitis, torch infections, and hemolytic diseases of the newborn, ABO incompatibility, RH incompatibility, biliary atresia, jaundice associated with the breastfeeding, genetic diseases, congenital deficiencies of enzymes, thalassemia, cystic fibrosis, drugs, vitamin K, novobicin. These are the causes of pathological jaundice. Okay. Okay, this is about the zone of the classification of the neonatal jaundice according to the zones. Here, according to the zones, the classification will be there. Bilirubin range associated with the each zones. Here, the first zone is divided up to the from head to up to the neck. That is called as first zone. From the neck means below the neck means from the shoulder to the up to the lower ribs. Here that zone is called as second zone. Third zone is below the ribs to up to the knees. Okay, that zone is called as third zone. Okay, fourth zone is from the knees to up to the ankles, that is fourth zone, and from the upper arm to up to the elbow, that also is called as the fourth zone. And then fifth zone is below the feet. Okay, and then palms. Okay, both palms, both the feet and then palms. These reason zone is called as fifth zone. Okay, we will discuss how far the serum bilirubin levels is there. If that baby is how in the introduction itself I said no, here the jaundice will be appeared from head to, that is face first, and then chest, and then abdomen, and then goat, it slowly down moves. The discoloration of the skin will be there. So means here, according to zone wise, if that baby is having only face discoloration, it indicates that zone 1. Okay, that time how much the serum bilirubin levels is there means that is 100. Serum bilirubin level, that is micromoles, it is per liter, it will be there. Okay, that is 100. Okay, if that baby is having 1 and 2 means 150 microliters, it is their serum bilirubin levels. And if that zone area, third zone area, baby is having 200 serum bilirubin levels. If a child is suffered with the fourth zone parts also, that time child is having 250 serum bilirubin levels, micromoles per liter, it is there. And then if it is fifth zone means up to the soles and then palms, means more than 250 serum bilirubin levels is there. This is the according to the zone criteria. Okay, zones. Here the total how many zones is there divided? Here total 5 zones. 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5. Okay. And coming to the risk factors. What are the risk factors of neonatal jaundice? The gestational age, and then race, family history of jaundice requiring phototherapy, hemolysis, that is ABO or other hemolytic disorders, severe bruising, because some instrumental deliveries, babies is having severe bruise. That time the trauma and the child RBC's reduction will be there. So that also one of the risk. And then breastfeeding jaundice also is there, I said no. So that also one of the risk factors of breastfeeding enzymes. Okay. And coming to the pathophysiology of neonatal jaundice. Here the what is pathophysiology of neonatal jaundice means, I said priorly in the bilirubin metabolism, RBC destruction is there because of the trauma, because of the bruise, because of the some instrumental delivery. What happens, some injuries, RBC's reduction or because of cephalohematoma, RBC's reduction. Normally red blood cells lifespan is 120 days, but here what happen, RBC reduction will be there, so automatically the bilirubin levels is increased. So it may leads to the RBC reduction, it may leads to the split into heme and then globin and enter into the circulation. Heme, it is and converts the bilirubin. Globin, it is in a protein part. Okay, and both are divided, split and enter into the circulation. The globin is used by the body. That protein part, albumin part is used by the body. Heme is converted into the unconjugated bilirubin. So here the unconjugated bilirubin will not converted into the conjugate. This insoluble substance bound to the albumin and enters into the liver. So it is not soluble. It is an unconjugated. It won't be converted into the conjugate. What happens? So it is this unconjugated bilirubin or insoluble substance bound to the albumin and enter into the liver. Okay, and it may lead to the glycoronidase transferase and detach from the albumin. So the conjugated with the gluconic acid, immature hepatic uptake, the conjugation increase, it may lead to the increased enterohepatic circulation. So once the unconjugated, okay, here it enter into the blood circulation, that is hepatic circulation, what happen, child is skin color is discoloration will be there. Okay, so this is about the it won't excrete through the whenever baby is passing through kidneys, here the discoloration of the urine also will be there, and then discoloration of the skin will be there. So this is about the pathophysiology of jaundice. All of you clear? Okay, coming to the clinical features of neonatal jaundice. Jaundice usually being on the face, and the as the serum level increase, the progress to the chest, abdomen and then the feet. First it is starting from the face and then chest and then lower part is the body is there. Okay, like that way the jaundice discoloration will be appear one by one part. Jaundice may be present at birth or at any time during the neonatal period, and jaundice resulting from deposition of indirect bilirubin in the skin tend to appear bright yellow or orange. Jaundice of the obstructive type, direct bilirubin, is a greenish or muddy yellow in color. Okay, this is about the clinical features of jaundice. Coming to the diagnostic evaluations of neonatal jaundice, determine the hemoglobin level and then reticulocyte count and determination of direct and indirect bilirubin fraction should be taken, and you should check for the blood type, that is ABO incompatibility is there or not, everything you should be check, and go for the Coombs test to evaluate the bilirubin levels, and examination of the peripheral blood smear to rule out the how much the bilirubin levels is increased in the blood level. Okay, that is about the diagnostic evaluations. And coming to the management of neonatal jaundice, that is phototherapy. The main management of neonatal jaundice is phototherapy. It is a very rapid process uh, process that deals with the treatment of predominant bilirubin isomerized to the water soluble isomers. Here it is the bilirubin, the predominant bilirubins were converted into the water soluble isomerizers. Okay, so the here what they are using means a blue spectrum of lights, that is 427 to 475 nano lights will be used for this phototherapy, and irradiance is 10 to 20 uh, 10 to 20 microwaves they are using for this irradiation, and then protection of eyes and genitalia should be used. Already this class is over about phototherapy, you go through that. Okay, and indications when you are advised for that babies is needed for the phototherapy means whose baby's bilirubin levels is more than 10 milligrams per dl at less than 12 hours should be needed for that under the phototherapy. If child is having more than 12 to 14 milligrams per dl is there, that time you should keep the baby under the phototherapy 18 hours is needed. Okay, if it is more than 15 milligrams of bilirubin levels per dl, that time you should keep the baby under phototherapy more than 24 hours. Bilirubin absorbs light primarily around 450 nanometers, typically 425 to 475 nanometers are they are keeping. Okay, the distance should not be greater than 50 centimeters, means 20 inches you should always should be maintained, and can be less if the infant temperature is monitored. If it is the distance is less than means so you should monitor the baby's temperature. Okay, if it is a hyperthermia is there or not, everything you should check. And protection of eyes and then genitalia are important to cover the eyes and then genitalia to prevent the blindness, and then to prevent the some genital impotency. Okay, and frequent breastfeeding to prevent the insensible water loss, and change the positions every second hourly is there. Okay, this is about the management of the baby under the phototherapy. And coming to the complications, what are the complications is there in the neonatal jaundice means insensible water loss, loose stools, retinal detachment. I said no, whenever we won't close the baby size under the phototherapy. Okay, retinal detachment will be there. The effects of cellular genetic materials also is there, and bronze baby syndrome also we will see in these babies. Okay, here the how that baby is having means this is the jaundice baby, here the Kernicks baby. Here the bilirubin is moves from the bloodstream into the brain, that is that if that time baby is suffered neurological problems. Okay, these are the complications is more commonly seen in these babies. And what is the management of this severe bilirubin levels increased that time the exchange transfusion is needed. Okay, what is exchange transfusion? Here the removes bilirubin and then antibodies from the circulation and correct the anemia. Okay, because RBC reduction is there, no, automatically baby is suffered with the anemia, so you should correct the anemia and then removes the bilirubin and then antibodies from the circulation. How they are using means hemoglobin should when it is indicated means those babies who are having hemoglobin is less than 12 milligrams per liter, that time the exchange transfusion is needed. And high drops, hepatosplenomegaly and then heart failure conditions, the bilirubin in less in the first 12 of life less than 0.7 milligrams per dl, that time also is this exchange transfusion is needed. Bilirubin is concentration is more than 20 milligrams per dl, that time also is indicated for the exchange transfusion. Okay, what are the drugs is used for this neonatal jaundice or hyperbilirubinemia? Phenobarbital, okay, that is 5 mg per kg in divided doses they are using these drugs, that is phenobarbital drugs. Okay, only 5 mg they are using for those babies neonates. And IV immunoglobulins is given 500 milligrams per kg body weight if the child is having 3 kgs. Mostly preterm babies is having this neonatal jaundice means they are having 1500 grams like that only. So the variation is slightly 500 to below 100,000 itself is their immunoglobulins. And mesoproferins and then protoproferins they are using for this drugs for the neonatal jaundice prevention. Okay, and next coming to the nursing management, impaired bilirubin metabolism, hyperbilirubinemia related to immaturity of the liver cells is there. Because of that what you should do means proper identification according to the zone wise you should evaluate the baby's hyperbilirubinemia and then assess the bilirubin levels daily, advise for phototherapy, administer the immunoglobulins or prophenides as per the order, educate the family about importance of expose of baby to early morning sunlight. Okay, this is very very important. Okay, and next diagnosis is imbalanced nutrition status less than body requirement related to inability to increase nutrients because of immaturity. So you should maintain parental fluids. Okay, monitor for signs of intolerance to the parental fluids, assist the mother with the expressive breast milk to establish and maintain the lactation, monitor the weight loss. And risk for injury related to the immaturity because baby is under the warmers, you should some risk is there because they are immature babies. So protect the eyes and then with the eye shields, and also genital also should be covered, and handle the infants with much care, prevent falls by means of side rails. Okay, so you should protect the baby and change the position of baby in the phototherapy every second hourly should change. Okay, this is about management of risk of injury. And next nursing diagnosis is risk for impaired skin integrity related to immature skin structure, immobility, decreased nutritional status. Okay, so for that the management is clean the skin with the plain warm water, provide daily cleaning of eyes, oral and diapers area should be cleansed properly, apply moisturizing agents to the skin after cleaning, assess the document skin breakdown is there or not, everything you should check. And coming to the conclusion of this neonatal jaundice, immature infants were at the risk of bilirubin encephalopathy at lower total serum bilirubin levels than mature infants. Here mature babies only they are suffered a lot compared to the term babies. How they are suffered means they are a risk of encephalopathy. Okay, a large proportion of the normal newborns over 50% developed mild jaundice and others are severe. Okay, only 50% is mild, others are having severe neonatal jaundice. So you should be careful immediate after delivery, whether any trauma or whether any injuries or whether any bruise, anything is there, hematomas, or you should observe carefully. It indicates that breakdown of the RBC. So once the breakdown of the RBC is there, the bilirubin, unconjugated bilirubin was not converted, is the conjugation. So in the RBC only two portions is there, heme and then globin. The heme is responsible for the bilirubin. What happened here? The reduction of the RBC, so the bilirubin is not converted. So it is baby is having neonatal jaundice. Okay, this is about the neonatal, today's class neonatal jaundice. I hope everybody is understand. Thank you.